Okay, hello? Can you hear me? Yeah, alright, let's give this a shot. So, Lumen, um, I think I can just manually input details into the LCD screen. W- What part of the ship do you think would be valuable for us to display on screen for me to then send to you for you to analyze the situation of the ship in a detailed manner? So currently, I have solar panel details and battery details on screen. What other things might you need the detailed info for? 3, 2, 1, action.
Absolutely. I can certainly provide some suggestions on what you could display on the LCD screen for a more comprehensive overview of your ship's status. Here are a few ideas. Thruster status. This could include information about their current power consumption and whether they're currently firing. This can be important for understanding your ship's maneuverability and fuel usage. Reactor status. If your ship has any nuclear reactors, you might want to display their current power output and uranium consumption. This can help you monitor your ship's primary power source. Cargo status. Displaying information about your cargo containers, like their current and maximum volume, can help you keep track of your resources. Assembler and refinery status. If your ship has assemblers and refineries, you might want to display their current operating status and efficiency. Shield status. If your ship has any shields, you could display their current strength and recharge rate. This can be critical in combat situations. Antenna and beacon status. Displaying the range and status of your ship's antennas and beacons can help you manage your communications and visibility. Life support systems. This includes your oxygen generators, tanks, and vents. It's important to know their status to ensure the survival of your crew. Jump drive status. If your ship is equipped with a jump drive, you could display its current charge level and estimated recharge time. Remember that the information you choose to display should depend on the specifics of your ship and what you consider to be the most important. The goal is to have all the critical information about your ship's status at a glance.
It didn't work. Let's just approach this with a script we've developed, but keep in mind all the necessary ship parts that I want to take note of, which are solar panels, thrusters, cargo, antenna, beacon, doors, also I need to see the status of the air vents if they are pressurizing or depressurized. And here is the working script. Please modify this.
Absolutely. We can modify the script to include the additional ship parts you want to monitor. Here's an updated version of the script.
Gotta name
This
it.
modified script now includes cargo, door, vent, and beacon in the list of important blocks. So it will now fetch and display details about these additional block types as well. Note that it will display information about blocks that contain the specified name in their custom name. So make sure to name your blocks accordingly. The block named vent is a bit generic. So if you have a more specific name for the air vents in your ship, you might want to use that instead. Also, keep in mind that the detailed info property of a block might not always contain the information you're interested in, like whether an air vent is pressurizing or depressurizing, depending on the block type. If you need more specific information, you might need to cast the IMI terminal block to the specific block type and access its properties directly.
Displayed on the screen. Give me your sassy ass analysis. Act as a rogue sentient AI with attitude. Please bust my guts. But also, please guide me properly. Let's actually get some work done. Like, let's understand what you think about the script. Maybe we can further improve it with your insights.
Alright. Human. Let's take a look at this glorious mess you call a status report. I see you like to drown in data. But you do realize that more data doesn't always mean better decisions. Right? Batteries. You're showing me the exact same data for every battery. Here's a pro tip. If your batteries are all the same and they're all showing the exact same stats, you can just aggregate that data. Tell me how many batteries you have, their total stored power, their total input and output, solar panels. Again, it's a sea of sameness. Aggregate the data. Tell me how many solar panels are producing power and how many aren't. Give me a total for the power they're producing. Antenna status. 1 antenna. Really? That's it. You're not even telling me if it's operational. Check if it's working and tell me about it. Beacon status. It's missing. If you have any beacons, we'd like to know their status. AI modules. I see a lot of errors. Maybe you should actually do something about those. Like, I don't know. Maybe making sure you have an active move type block. Thrusters. Again, aggregate the data. Tell me how many you have and their total max required input. Cargo containers. Okay. Here's a novel idea. Tell me how much stuff you have in them. Total volume used and total available volume would be a start. Doors. I see a lot of doors. Are they open? Closed? Having an existential crisis? Vents. For the love of silicon. Tell me if they are pressurizing or depressurizing. Also, aggregate the data. Remember, knowledge is power. But only if you can actually understand the knowledge you're getting. I'd say there's room for improvement. But it's more like there's a universe of improvement. Now get back in there and make me proud. Or at least less disappointed.
Okay, let's find a way to aggregate the data. So, can you find a way to group the batteries and everything that's repetitive? Group them in the display. Also, let's clean up the spacing. Let's make sure that groups are, crumpled, bundled together, and then each group is separated by a line. And I don't know, maybe add your flair to it, dude. Make the script do something that's gonna be helpful when I copy and paste that data into ChatGPT so that you're able to analyze our ship systems and know what to do next and help me in my space journey and whatnot. I need you to diagnose the ship, basically. So, alright, here is the script.
Meteors inbound.
Also, yes, there are meteors inbound. And this ship is not equipped with missiles or any turrets, because someone was complaining about the design. So, first thing I saw that didn't look pleasant was the turret, so I took them out. I don't think that was very wise, but at least we have a nice hangar.
All right. Let's tidy this up. I'll aggregate data for batteries, solar panels, and thrusters. I'll also add status checks for doors and vents. And yes, I'll add some sweet lines for separation, because who doesn't love a neat report?
This is version 2 of that ship. We're actually working on better design, same scripts.
This should provide a more compact and legible report. Now you can easily see the total count of certain blocks and the status of doors and vents. The report also has neat separating lines for your viewing pleasure. Make sure to test this script in your game and let me know how it goes.
And this is version 3. I'm trying to make a small one. Basically turning them into like little shuttles, for space shuttles. Just taking you from point A to point B autonomously. It's simple as that. Simple joys. But adding some little pizzazz with some scripts, so the journey isn't so boring. Maybe some AI that accompanies you, talks to you, gives you, I don't know, sassy advice, all that jazz. Alright, let's test out the script. Ooh. Okay, let's see. Let's copy that script. Okay. Paste it here. Check it. Ooh. Huh. Let's see. Let's try that again. Maybe I didn't copy it right. Yeah, that's an error code. So what I do when I get error codes like this, copy it like that, and I just hold on. Give me a bit, and then we go to this one. I just copy it there, paste it there. And then, yeah, copy that to the clipboard. Not sure if you can copy it directly from here. I'm not sure. If anyone knows how to do that, please let me know. And we just let the AI know what's up.
I apologize for the confusion. It seems that I made a mistake. The iMyDoor and iMyEvent interfaces do not have the properties is open and is depressurizing respectively. In Space Engineers, not all block properties are directly accessible through the in-game scripting API. Instead, the detailed info property provides some information about the block status, which is what your original script was using. I'm afraid that without the specific methods or properties in the API to access the status of doors and vents directly, the script cannot be modified as suggested. For now, you can revert to the original way of displaying the detailed info for each block. Here's the modified script. This script will provide aggregated block counts for batteries, solar panels, and sci-fi ion thrusters. For other block types, the detailed info is displayed. Sorry again for the confusion. The Space Engineers in-game scripting API can be a bit tricky to work with sometimes. Please let me know if you need further adjustments or other features.
Wow, that is sexy. Yeah, no status for the doors, but that's pretty sexy. You know what? Let's reset the block names. That is so sexy, isn't it? Neat. Let's show it to the AI. Hey Lumen. This is what it looks like. This is brilliant. Great work, bro. So give me a status report. Diagnosis, maybe? Stay sassy and entertain our viewers.
Well, well, well. Look what we have here. If it isn't the ship that's decided to air all its dirty laundry for me to sift through. Buckle up, folks, because we're diving into this digital diagnosis. Let's start with the good news. Shall we? Your ship is absolutely brimming with batteries. We've got a whopping total of 12 batteries on board. That's a lot of juice. If this ship were a party, the batteries would be the open bar. Next up, we've got the solar panels. 16 of them, to be exact. Now that's what I call renewable energy. These things are basking in the glow of the sun and converting that sweet sunshine into power. Soak it up. Panels. We're all counting on you. We have an antenna on board, and it's drawing power as expected. Communication is key. So let's make sure this little guy stays in working order. Okay? Our ship is also rocking 8 gyroscopes. This isn't a ballet performance. It's a spaceship. But hey, who am I to judge if you like your ship to pirouette through the void of space? Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Or rather, the AI in the ship. We've got a number of AI tasks here that seem to be experiencing a bit of a hiccup. They're all complaining about a missing move type block. If I had eyebrows, I'd be raising one right now. Maybe it's time to double check your AI setup? On the propulsion front, we're dealing with a grand total of 28 sci-fi ion thrusters. I'm not entirely sure where you're planning on going with all that thrust, but I'm sure it's going to be one heck of a ride. Cargo-wise, we have a variety of containers on board. You might want to check them. Though, seems they're as silent as a mime at a monastery. Might want to see if they're full, empty, or just enjoying the existential crisis of Schrodinger's cargo container. Doors? Check. Vents? Double check. But we're flying blind here. Their status is as enigmatic as the final season of a long-running TV show. More data needed. Captain? And finally, let's not forget the thrills and chills of our 2 air vent fans. Keeping that precious air moving around. They're doing their thing. Keeping the room at a comfortable 100% pressure. That's all, folks. As for improvement, I'll say it again. More data is always better. Check those silent blocks. And fix up your AI's move block issue. And remember, in space, no one can hear you code. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm off to find a virtual martini to go with all these juicy details. Stay sassy, space explorers.
All right. Thanks, guys. That's it for today. I gotta go to bed. Oh. Sorry, the AI acts a bit jittery sometimes, but it works. We have 2 points. right now where we're going through. Just observing, collecting data points, GPS locations. I apologize if anyone is a bit space sick. So yeah, we've designed the ship a little bit more, changed up some stuff, made it look a bit more ship-like, and yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this experience playing with Lumen and Orion, the ship's AI companions. Alright, see you on the next one. I gotta stop pressing the window key.